Hello! Welcome to SkilledSouls and welcome to one of my favourite games, Star Wars Battlefront 2. And of course, Merry Christmas. This is a Christmas special as I am talking about my thoughts on Star Wars Battlefront 3, an upcoming game which I think is going to be a really good game as long as DICE can pull it off really well. Now before I quickly get started, I need to say apologies because I have a problem with Star Wars Battlefront 2 and I think it's a big problem that quite a few people have, but the sound has a bit of a glitch and it sort of has a tendency to repeat. You may have already seen it once, and the main other time you may hear it is at the end of the next map when I'm on Polis Master. When I get a victory, there's a clear jolt. It's my problem and I haven't found any fix for it, and it's not yours, so just quickly putting that out there. Now, to talk about Star Wars Battlefront 3, there are several things I'm hoping to see, look forward to, and just general things I think they might be able to include, and I think it could be good. Now, the first thing I have to mention, as it seems appropriate, is space battles. I really hope they make space battles a thing again, and I'm pretty sure they will, because not many people know that Star Wars Battlefront 3 was already started previously and was actually nearly complete. You may have actually seen some leaked game alpha footage of when the game was being created. It's been up on YouTube for quite a long time, and so many people have seen it, and I don't think people actually realised that the game was nearing completion, but for several reasons they couldn't do it. But in that alpha footage you saw that they actually had a spaceship going up into a space battle. Just the problem with what they had then is that there was really a tiny flight. You wasn't in space, you were simply just above the map. So it was kind of like Hoth, like you have snow speeders above the map, focusing on the AT-ATs. But in the alpha they were focusing on the ships, while there was also the other fight of the soldiers fighting. Speaking more on Hoth, I think Hoth is a map that they have to include. It's a map that was in Battlefront 1 as well as in Battlefront 2. This map was pretty amazing, I think, because you had the sort of strategy that the AT-ATs need to destroy the shield generators, and then that the snow speeders need to then destroy the AT-ATs quick enough. This was so much fun. Personally, I always like being the rebellion and piloting the snow speeder while having a co-pilot shoot the legs of the AT-AT. Quite a few times I always fail, because I always try and do some clever thing around the AT-AT so I survive longer. Rarely it's worked, but most times it honestly hasn't, and it's just gone horribly wrong. Talking more on maps, I think they should honestly add best spin platforms from Battlefront 1. It's a map that loads of people loved, and I think loads of people want back. And I think quite a few people that have wanted it back, I know I have, you can actually add best spin platforms into Battlefront 2 and then play it that way. At which point you are also the updated classes, because it's simply just a map. The only problem with it is that you can't actually add it onto a server that I know of, because I have my own little server I run privately for when me and my friends want to record some games on this and just have a load of fun. So as you can see there, I just killed one of my friends because we was doing a 1v1 and see who could win. Sadly he won. But more things that I think they should return is definitely heroes. Because as you can see here, heroes are absolutely a load of fun. However, as you can just see here, I did get the first hit, in which point that kind of already meant that I was going to win that fight. Because I hit him and then he was rolling, and then at which point I can just go finish him off. I think if they're going to bring back heroes, they have to bring back so everyone's happy. So things like that don't happen, and using Force should be changed drastically. Because Force Push and Force Pull is the main thing that irritates people, because there's several servers that's Mos Eisley Assault based where it's just heroes and villains, and so many people are force pushing and pulling, it drives people crazy. There are other things with heroes that's a bit annoying, the way that you've got the people like Leia and Han Solo against Darth Maul are then having massive problems. So if there's also some way that they could implement like hero battles while there are also soldier battles going on, that would be quite cool. Next thing I need to talk about is Galactic Conquest. Galactic Conquest is one of the funnest game modes I ever have played in Battlefront 2. In which point I think it should be definitely brought back in Battlefront 3 and improved on, so you can actually play it multiplayer and play it against your friends, as it's quite strategical and it's a lot different to just a simple instant action, because you may not have bought some units which in instant action may have saved your life, but as you're doing Galactic Conquest you don't have that unit because you weren't able to get it as you've been losing battles or something, so you were then able to have the variety of fights, so it isn't I say isn't just one-sided, but if the other opponent has loads of units it can be, so they might want to make fights more equal. One thing I'm curious about with Star Wars Battlefront 3 is that in Star Wars Battlefront 2 we had Rise of the Empire, the way that the Republic turned into the Empire and you actually played that campaign type. I'm wondering if there's something they're doing to link with the new trilogy of films that's coming out, because my friend mentioned to me and I didn't even make that connection, but if they can do something that links to it, that would be really, really good to see. I think that would be a really good sell point for DICE, as they then can have people playing what might happen in the movies, and it would be very interesting. Now, a final thing I have to talk about is something that I got from another video that talks about Star Wars Battlefront 3 by Games Radar. They do weekly stuff talking about Battlefront 3 and I'm watching every episode because I'm curious. But one thing they mentioned is that it's being done by DICE, and DICE did Battlefield, so might they include some kind of rush game mode? Because I think that could go really well on some maps, however other maps not so well. An example being Yavin. Yavin you don't really know that much, in which point they can, by not knowing that much, they can actually choose what might happen to him. So an example of a rush game mode they could choose, you could have the Empire defending Yavin before the rebels got there. So you then have the rebels, the first stage would be the rebels attacking the Empire, and if they then get past that stage, the Empire have to flee up into space, in which point that then creates the next stage of units having to go from Yavin up into space to fight the Empire there. That would be the second stage, in which point it would be very, very cool if they then have the third stage of destroying the Death Star. These stages works quite well as different parts of Battlefront, as it will be a very long game and it would be a lot more different to what kind of instant action we get now. So yeah, this is kind of my sum up. I really do not know any more that I think they could do other than ideas that they have. I could probably get so many more ideas from the Star Wars Battlefront 3 weekly series I'm watching, but who knows. Anyway, I am coming towards the end of this video now. I hope you very much have enjoyed it, and please comment what you think on Battlefront 3, as it's a game I really enjoy and would love to know your thoughts. Anyway, please like, favourite, subscribe, hope you like this video, and of course, Merry Christmas. Goodbye.